Previously on Survivor.
I found the same hidden immunity clue that Trey did, which was great. It proved that Trey is actually being 100% honest with me.
But the bigger thing is that we had a percentage deduction for our tribe that made us drop down below the other two tribes.
You never want to feel too comfortable. So, and nobody wants to be too close-minded, but nobody wants to be too open-minded. So,
Right before tribal votes get passed.
Don't vote me out.
All right, happy birthday,
Birthday to you.
Happy
birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
So, after last tribal, I was the person with the second amount of votes, and which was no surprise to me, because even though I'm 100, I won't be so arrogant. Even though I'm 98% sure that there's a tribe alliance with every single person that's in my tribe except for me in it, Julia is my number one ally. She is in this alliance, and she literally came and told me, yeah, they're trying to vote for you. Just so you know, split the vote, which, to be honest, I thought was a stupid strategy, because regardless of the fact if Rob had an idol or not, he would have had to been the only one to vote for me, and I still would have gone home. Only takes one vote, and that would have been the majority. So if we all would have voted for Rob, and he played an idol, and he voted for me, I still would have been the one to go home. So they didn't have to split the vote for me, so I feel like that was a stupid plan.
The past 3 days, I have found 3 different immunity idol clues that I'm hunting, but sadly no idol yet. I don't know if this means that I'm very, very good at finding clues, or just very, very bad at finding the idol. But I've been talking with B. She's the person I trust the most at this point.
I think this game is really actually helping me learn more about how I can compartmentalize and really switch between different things, which I've always thought that I was good at, but even just these first 5 days, I think I've improved. But I do know I'm probably falling behind in schoolwork.
So, Team Godzilla went to tribal. We watched it. It was like they were not unified. It was completely split vote. They even said that they weren't expecting anyone to have an idol. So I'm like, So about that, the good thing is that half the tribe won't be getting coins for voting the correct person out. So that leaves our competition less. So that's good. Then if there's a tribe swap, it's also good because, there is dissension there, so we won't have to worry about them as much as we do the Ariana Grande team. I hope they end up going to tribal before any tribe swap. If there ever ends up being tribe swap, I hope there isn't, but I hope there is a little bit, so there is more aspects to the game of all these, like, knotted up different pathways to go, you know?
I was really confused with their split vote. You know, I don't know if they were afraid Robert had an idol or if they just have zero consensus with their tribe, but they seem pretty broken, in my opinion. A lot of conflicting personalities that I noticed. So I felt really bad for Rob. He looked pretty hurt by their decision. I really hope that that's not how it goes with Amy tonight. It's pretty much a general consensus with our tribe to go ahead and vote Amy just because she's not in our 4-person alliance with me, Mark, Trey, and Avery. And I talk to Josie almost all day, every day. So, you know, she's not particularly in our alliance, but I know that she's close with me and Trey, and we're going to protect her.
I know earlier I said I don't know who in the world I'd vote out because there's so many emotional connections, but right now, I know who I would vote out right now. My vote out would be Maggie. Hands down. She's starting to have connections with Trey, and she is a very social and strategical threat. So I do need to worry about that.
Because I do play an individual social game and I'm hesitant to join groups at first. Which is my own undoing because apparently, you know, it's Survivor and people love those numbers, so they will jump on in right away.
I'm not really worried about our tribe. I feel like we're doing good. I feel like I'm in a really good spot, so I'm not really concerned too much. Hopefully that's true and I stay.
We've been spitballing and I'm pretty sure I know where to go next, so maybe tomorrow we'll hold something better.
We absolutely killed it. I was the guesser, and I'm not gonna lie, you know, we as a tribe did a really good job. I was a good guesser. I knew I would be good at that. I know that's my kind of forte is the You know, I'm frustrated this round a little bit, and I think everybody in my tribe is. I don't really blame anyone for it, but it's just frustrating to be in first and then be knocked down to third. So, I mean, I guess that's all I've got, is that my vote tonight is for Amy. Super frustrated that we didn't win.
Too early to vote off Maggie. I've thinking long and hard about it. Crazy. Too much of me going through my head. I wish I could be like, okay, Maggie, you're gonna go home now, sorry. But no, I can't do that because I'm in alliance with Trey, I'm in alliance with Mark, and I can't break those ties yet. No, not gonna do that. Especially since we have it so solid right now, I don't even want them to even think that they have to worry about me. So I'm not even gonna even venture into that.
Or I think it was Avery told me that they were gonna vote Trey because he's played a game before, and I'm sitting here like, I told him I played 2 games before, so wouldn't I be up first?
So luckily, you know, Trey stepped up and he said, you know what, I trust everybody. I am confident that Amy doesn't have an idol. I'll throw my name in there and just tell Amy that you're voting for me. And I mean, he'll get 1 vote. You know, I also was fine with throwing my name in there as well. I think after my performance in the most recent Taboo Challenge, there's no way in hell they will vote me out.
Apparently, Avery now wants to vote out Trey. She's on his radar, which I was not expecting this early. I'm like, Avery, he's like my number 1 right now. This is not okay. So I had to tell Trey about it because this is not okay to happen right now, especially with, oh my goodness. So, and then Maggie ended up telling Amy, like, hey, and this is like a decoy message or whatever. So, like, hey, we're voting for Trey. I haven't talked to Trey or Josie or anything. So then that would help. And then it's like, I'm like, oh no, maybe Avery and Amy will team up. But
I told Amy that. And then, you know, she was still skeptical, which I don't blame her. She had gotten kind of no answers from everybody else. And I don't blame her for being nervous. Basically what happened next was that she had told Trey that I told her that he was the vote. And, you know, I guess she was scrambling. Trey took that as a sign of allyship, which I'm confused about because, you know, we had told him that we were going to be using his name as a decoy, and the fact that she told him that, he saw as her reaching out, you know, extending an olive branch to be allies. And he, I think, seriously misjudged that situation and came to me and said, you know what, I trust Amy, let's vote Avery.
Of course. I straight up asked Josie, I'm like, are there groups of alliance group chats formed already? And she was like, yeah.
I told Amy everything except for that me, Trey, and Mark have an alliance. I told her me and Trey have an alliance, but that's fine. Told her I didn't trust Maggie. Trying to get Maggie out. Hopefully this is gonna work. Might just be a 3-3 tie. I don't know. Eek. So hopefully Amy gets to stay in because I feel like she does better in the challenges than Maggie does.
As far as Josie, she's been pretty out, like on the outskirts on all of this. I'm really confused with how she's playing it right now.
Well, it's been fun. Apparently it's gonna be me tonight unless I can think of something. Wait to do that. So yeah, Josie just called me and told me that she'd be willing to vote Maggie, but she did tell me that it is on me tonight.
I was just shocked to see Trey go against the alliance so quickly after the person we're voting out told him the truth.
Now, if Amy ends up spilling any of this out after the votes are casted, and if she ends up going home, then I am in trouble. Or if, like, say, Maggie or Avery goes home right afterwards, then if she says anything ever, I'm out. Hands down.
Apparently, my task is to flip it on Maggie because Josie's not going to vote Trey out because they have an alliance, which is fair. I like Trey. I wasn't really keen on voting him out anyway. My biggest worry actually is the Avery Mark alliance because they made it public in that immunity, like to give someone immunity because Mark was like, this is a token of trust. It's like, okay, cool. So very interesting, but it's interesting also to hear that lines are very crossed. Here I was hoping like I could pull Maggie in, but if it's me or her, you know.
All right, well, if there's going to be some sort of blindside tonight, it's not going to be me, but it also won't be my fault. So if Trey and Josie are concocting some plan with Amy to get out one of our alliance members, that's going to cause some serious problems with the tribe, and we are already going to be broken before we even get to emerge. So if that's Trey or Josie or Amy's plan, then I think it's dumb. I think it's a bad move, and I'm really hoping that's not what's going to happen.
So welcome to Tribal Council number 3. Here tonight we have Saffron, and so let's get started.
All right, so we're going to open up with our first question. Maggie, I know the challenge results were very frustrating because if it wasn't for the advantages and disadvantages, your tribe would have won. How do you feel about this, and how does it affect the game and your gameplay?
Yeah, it definitely was really frustrating because we absolutely killed it. I mean, we won the most points, and then we got knocked down all the way to 3rd because of disadvantages. I think it was just a learning lesson that we really need to start taking advantage of advantages and disadvantages to kind of explore that avenue a little better, because obviously the other tribes are really, really utilizing them. So I think that's just another thing that we need to add to our tribe gameplay in order to lock down those wins that we deserve.
Mark, how important is the element of the idol hunt in this game? How often are you hunting? How often do you think others are hunting?
Well, you know, I thought that the idol hunt was obviously going to be important, just obviously because of the immunity idol that's out there. But after the last result of the last immunity challenge, I really realized how much more it is important. And to be honest, it's made me almost want to idol hunt less because I'm pretty afraid. I don't really know what you guys are up to, and you've thrown us some, I don't know if it's because of you guys, but we certainly got dealt a pretty unlucky hand the last round. So I'm definitely a little afraid, but people are definitely hunting. But I'd say confidently that we're doing it much more cautiously now.
All right, Trey, depending on who you ask, it is relatively early in the game. But this is Saffron's second time coming to see Cody and I at Tribal Council. The question remains, what are you basing your vote off of? At this stage in the game, which is more important, voting blocks or alliances?
You were throwing softballs at the past two people, and you hit me with this like grand jury question. Can you give me the first bit again? Because I completely forgot.
Yeah, so basically, who are you basing your vote off of, and which is more important, voting blocks or alliances?
I sincerely, honestly would just not. I guess the vote being, I've always been about like, I've always wanted to have tribe unity. You know, I think especially in the early and the tribe portion of the game, unity in the tribe is best for like an upcoming swap or like an upcoming merge, because if you can't trust the people who you spent the beginning of the game with, how are you supposed to trust them when you're down in numbers? You're just going to be gunning for each other, like on a swap. And I've made some mistakes. This round especially, I put my foot in my mouth. Is that the saying? I got hand, foot, mouth. Have you heard of that? It's when you have a bunch of canker sores in your mouth. Babies get it. It's super weird. Anyway, so the point is I'm trying to make is this vote is going to be a vote purely out of unity. It's purely out of just I can't even tell you. I can't even express to you how much I don't want to be talking, much less here. So I will stop.
All right, Amy. So talk to me about camp life before a vote. You know, there's usually some degree of scrambling. Do you feel like there was scrambling today? And how solid are you feeling about your connections in the game? And how confident are you that you'll get through this vote?
Great question. The last couple of hours have been chaos on my end. And yeah, confidence is not great. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, there's been a lot of scrambling, a lot of names being thrown from many different angles, and it is a lot to think about, but we'll see what happens. From my perspective, there's not much unity. Well, maybe there is. I don't know what's happening. It's changed so much so quickly. So I've heard my name, I've heard other people's names. So we'll see.
Well, who gets to define unity in a tribal like this?
Right. The majority. So I don't know. I don't know who that's going to be.
All right. Josie, connections can form and change each day in a game like Survivor. Do you feel like you have a solid initial connections with people that you are trusting, or do your connections change each day, and are you having a more open mindset of who you can trust?
Well, with our tribe, I trust most everyone in our tribe. I think in Survivor, you have to be open to every connection that happens, and you have to trust the people around you because you never really know what is going to happen.
Okay, and last but not least, Avery. How easy is it to get paranoid in this game and doubt your trust in others? Do you feel like the connections you have made are the ones that you'll stick with long term in the game, or are you open about forming new connections?
I think that there's definitely a lot of paranoia, and I think that it certainly kind of shapes the way which all of us behave, myself included. And I think that, like, in order to kind of remain stable in this game, you have to kind of have a set of, like, people or whatever who you kind of feel confident in. So I think definitely, like, I want to have stagnancy in the sense where I want different people who I can rely on, But at the same time, like, nothing is guaranteed, and that's why I think there's a lot of paranoia.
Great. Well, with that, I'll leave the floor open to anyone that wants to add anything. But I suspect no one will add anything. Mark.
I miss your usual hat.
Oh, thank you. I literally got in like 20 minutes ago, so. Okay, so with that, it is time to vote. Go ahead and message in your host chat with your voting confession. And Sarah and I will tally up the votes for dramatic effect. So, we'll read the votes. If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so. No one stands. When the vote is read, the decision is final, and we will read the votes.
All right, I'll start with the first one. Trey, it's been fun.
Second vote, Amy, it was great getting to know you, and I'll miss your happy presence.
Third vote, Amy, I am so sorry it had to come to this. You are a challenge beast and played your heart out. I'm so sorry.
2 votes, Amy. 1 vote, Trey. Next vote, Amy. It breaks my heart that we had to make this decision. You played such an amazing game, and we are so thankful to have met you.
All right, 3 votes, Amy. 1 vote, Trey. Amy, nothing personal. This is a numbers move. Good vibes always. Love you.
Last vote, Amy. It's one of us, and if it's you, I'm sorry. If it's me, best of luck. And with that, Amy is the first person voted to a different tribe. Amy will not be eliminated from the game, and you have 15 minutes to decide which tribe you would like to send Amy to.
So, this sucks. I just got onto Gazania. I now know how to spell that. That's cool. Progress.
And so at first I was like, well, you know, I wouldn't want to work. She chose our tribe, so I was just kind of like, I don't know that I would want to work with the outsider. But Nikolai and I were talking, and he said, you know, if we bring her in, then we, you know, at a tribe swap, she's going to be loyal to us and not to Saffron people, and it gives us more options. And I was like, okay, that's so right. And she has valuable information from the other tribe.
So yesterday, we joined an alliance, and they were talking to me like, hey, like, we're trying to push for you, but you need to do some work for yourself. Which I was like, I've been trying, but okay. I will try harder, because I do realize that the fact that I'm like very bad about, like, if I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall, or if I feel like I'm not getting any responses, what I get from half the people I try to talk to on my tribe, that I just like shut down. I'm like, okay, what?
I cannot believe that Amy came to our tribe. That is awesome that we're back up in numbers again, but also like, whoa, that adds a whole new dynamic to our game. Is she gonna try and make an alliance with B and pull in maybe Jamie, since Jamie's so wishy-washy? Or is she just gonna kind of hang out? Who knows? This may change our game a whole bunch.
I feel good that at the end we were a unified vote. You know, Trey is really trying to pick up the pieces of the mess he left, you know, an hour or two before Tribal. So I think he knows that, you know, he said to me, I'm going to learn to keep my mouth shut, basically, because I told him, I was like, hey, you know, Amy was playing some serious mind games. She knew what she was doing. She was trying to stay in the game. Didn't work out for her to stay with our tribe, but she gets another chance. But, I mean,
cannot have another person gone, because right now the tribes are at 7-7-5, especially since Amy left with their tribe. So I'm kind of a little bit happy she's still in the game, because I still have someone that I can trust. And if she trusts me because of what I did, I stood my neck out there for her.
Just when you think you know where the game's gonna go, they throw you a loop. So Saffron voted out somebody, but sent them over to Lady Gaga tribe there, Galanias. Not sure exactly how I feel about that. I mean, it would have been nice having that extra number here for us, but we're still in a really good shape.
Part of me is like, why didn't she choose our tribe? Because, I mean, we're dominating. Don't you want to, like, be on a winning tribe? The other tribe, if they go to tribal, you're probably getting voted out. So I feel like that was definitely a disadvantage on her part.
Y'all see, I got the invisible immunity idol. Y'all know what that is, you remember? We're not going to tribal council. We got the invisible. Now, we go to tribal council, it means it didn't work. But for right now...
Also, I've been getting a lot of coins from, I think they're from other tribes when they're going on idol hunting, which makes me really happy that I have friends on other tribes that I've never even talked to, because I feel like we're going to swap soon, and I would like to stay with like mostly people from my tribe, but that's probably not going to happen. So I'm glad that I have some potential allies.
After a 14-day sequester in Fiji, contestants from all walks of life were ready to begin their epic battle for the title of sole survivor. Among them was Leanne, a 20-something-year-old from Minnesota, Neil, a big personality obsessed with horror films, Amy, a 32-year-old Columbus native who says her favorite player is Michelle, Ben, a 20-year-old strategic mastermind studying video, TV, and film, James, the super fan of the season that would steal the public's hearts, and 14 others. The contestants were split into two tribes, Aneres and Sunev. Aneres is Aneres and Sunev Sunev. Immediately following, the first twist of the season was unleashed. Each tribe would have to elect one person to compete head-to-head in the first reward challenge of the season. The winner of the reward would win for their tribe an additional 5-pound bag of rice, fire in the form of flint, and a 10-by-10-foot tarp for their shelter. The losers would head to their tribe camp empty-handed. Aneres elected Madison, the grad student from Oklahoma, to compete against James from Sunev in a challenge that tested them both physically and mentally. First, the challenge would require them to dig for a bag of puzzle pieces, which would be used to complete a 12-piece puzzle. After Jeff announced that the challenge had begun and took a drink out of his orange water bottle, Madison got off to a strong start, but James' puzzle mastery skills allowed him to make a brilliant comeback and secure the reward for his tribe. Jeff then made a huge announcement. One last thing, this reward challenge has a dual purpose and also served as your first tribal immunity challenge, which means, Aneres, you have a date with me at tribal council where one of you will be the first person voted out of this game and be sent to the edge of extortion. At the first tribal council, a split vote occurred, resulting in a 5-5 tie between Pedro and John. On the revote, Gray was willing to lose an ally to avoid going to rocks, and John was eliminated 5-3. As the season progressed, some of the highlights included Pedro being idled out on day 12, a pseudo-merge occurring on day 19, Madison being eliminated at a 0-vote tribal on day 23, and Neil, Leanne, and Ben making it to final tribal council. An extremely bitter jury would go on to reward Leanne with the title of sole survivor. At the live reunion, Tyler made an infamous speech about how unappreciated Ben's gameplay was and how he was the true winner of Survivor. In one last shocking turn of events, Pedro narrowly beat out James for fan favorite, but thankfully Sia was there to give James $32,000. The end.
It takes place on day, I think it was 14 days into a season in Fiji or something like that. We got Leanne. Here's some of the cast of characters. There were a lot of names. I couldn't get them all. So Leanne, who's 20-something, that's her that's a defining characteristic of her. There's Amy, who is 32, and I think she's from Columbus. I remember that being said. There's Ben, who is 20, and he's an AV guy. Okay, so film, TV stuff. That's pretty much what I got. The two tribes are Aneres and Sunev.
How do you spell that?
Anaris. If I'm right, it's A. If I'm right, it's ANARUS.
And Sunev.
If I wrote the right thing down, it is SUNEV.
Gotcha.
In this challenge, James was behind at first. They had to dig for puzzle pieces. But since James, being the beast that he is at puzzles, he ended up winning immunity for Sunev. And that night, Aneres went to tribal council.
On day 19, there is a merge. The final 3 for the game are Neil, Ben, and Leanne. The jury is bitter. It's a bitter jury, and they end up voting Leanne to be the sole survivor.
Well, we are going to tribal council again.
But yeah, here's hoping they keep me around because I can get the 10% advantage next time.
B is the one that is still going home tonight, which is definitely not in my best interest. B is someone I know I can trust and I know will have my best interests in mind looking forward, and I can't say the same for Jamie. I want her gone. She's been actively targeting me, and I know that if we get swapped together, she will screw me over. So I'm trying everything I can to change the vote to Jamie.
Hey, what's going on? Let's talk strategy. Do you want to align with me? Do you want to align with me and someone else? How do you feel about certain people? Like, what's going on? And it's like literally the same response every time, which is either nothing, bland, like generic response, like, oh yeah, maybe we can talk about that later, and then later comes and they never talk to me again, or it's just like blown off completely and it's like thumbs up and I'm like, okay, that was helpful, wasn't, but okay.
B doesn't talk to me, and I've already saved her once. I gave her an opportunity to talk to me, and she didn't take it.
So I'm really going to try to just kind of step back for a little bit. I don't want to look like the one making the moves. Because you can't overstep in the game. So I'm starting to get a little nervous.
Having this option where when people get voted out, they might join another tribe is a really scary part of the game now, because Jamie has been so wishy-washy and insecure in the tribe. We're not sure if she'll stay with us if we swap tribes or not. So we've been thinking, oh, maybe should we vote her out, because she's also a challenge threat so far. Like, she's done pretty well. But what if she goes to another tribe? Same with B. Like, they're both pretty good at challenges, and what if we vote either of them out and they end up on another tribe? That's going to be a benefit to someone else.
B, after having your name written down in the last tribal council Gazania attended, how did that expose loyalties and alliances in the game? Do you feel like you are again at risk tonight, or do you feel confident in the people you are working with?
I definitely don't feel confident tonight. I mean, there's a huge chance like I could go home tonight. I'm really not sure where the alliances are right now, but I don't think that I'm in a majority, so there's definitely a risk for me going home, which makes me really nervous.
Denara, what's better at this stage in the game? Are you thinking ahead or just trying to survive tribal to tribal?
I think it's just trying to have a balance of both, making sure you're surviving tribal, but also thinking ahead so what you do in tribal now doesn't come back to bite you in the butt later on. So it's trying to find a balance of the two of them.
All right, Jake. A big element of this game is idol hunting and collecting and using coins. How do you feel like the element of coins has impacted your gameplay and the decisions that you have made? Oh, you're on mute.
Oops. I think it kind of influences like how you go about alliances and like what information do you share and with who, and when's the right time to buy something and when's the right time not to.
Okay, so Jamie, so the term alliance is just loosely being thrown around consistently. So if there's all this talk about alliances, which plan do you trust tonight, and how do you decide where your trust goes?
Did you ask me that? God damn, all the hard questions. You asked me a hard ass question last time. You're asking me a hard ass question this time. Honestly, shit. You gotta ask it again. Sorry.
I said basically the term alliance is just being thrown around like crazy. So if you're told a plan, how do you decide that you're going to trust that plan or not trust that plan?
That's a really good question, Cody.
Thank you, Jamie.
Can you answer that? Because I can't. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't think that the term alliance is being thrown around like the question is stated.
Well, the 3 people that have been asked the question so far have each said it.
Way to go, guys. Your fault I got the hard question.
Someone can chime in and help her out.
Well, I don't need help. Slow your roll, Cody. I don't need help. I mean, you guys can always give me your input. I'm more happy to hear it. I don't know, alliances. I think everybody wants to be a part of an alliance. It's probably a term that's being thrown around right now because everybody is terrified about what this tribal is going to look like, what the end result is going to be. For myself, yeah, I mean, I feel like if there is an alliance that is going on in this game within our tribe, I hope that it's strong, you know. And if there's an alliance and it's not strong, then I don't know. Like, it's just I don't really have much to say on this. So now people can chime in because I'm walking dead here. Or not. You guys should stay silent. That's
quiet.
All right. No. Yeah. I don't know how to really answer your question.
It's okay. We'll go to Julia.
Julia, it's the 4th tribal council and still no idol plays. Does that mean anything for the game? Is it important to not just assume idols are in play this season? I think you're muted, Julia.
Maybe she's lagging. Okay, so we'll move to Nico. We'll come back to Julia. Nico, there has been talk about a tribe swap and one coming up soon. Are you basing your vote tonight off of this potential swap? Or is your vote based off what has already happened in the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's online Survivor, so I think all of us are trying to think, if we were running this game, what would we want to make sure to include? I think since all of us are, big enough Survivor fans to want to play in an online format, I think all of us have at least considered it. But I wouldn't say that the worries about the potential futures is really what we're basing our vote off tonight. I think we're really trying to keep the tribe unified and continue to work together so that for the next challenge, we're as well equipped as we can.
All right, Amy, after an eventful tribal council last time and being added as the newest member of Gazania, how do you feel about this new tribe? Do you feel like you have been able to fit in with this new tribe, or are you thankful for the switch after being on the bottom of your former tribe?
Well, hello. First, I just want to say I am very happy to be here. Not specifically a tribal, just still be in the game. So yeah, I definitely welcomed the twist, and everyone actually really welcomed me on this tribe. And I hope that I was able to, make some bonds and show that I bring benefits to the tribe. and a new perspective coming from a different tribe. So, I'm just hoping that that they really, really want to work with me, and I am Gazania strong. So, yeah.
All right, we'll go back to Julia. Julia, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. I'm having very bad phone connectivity issues right now.
It's okay. So it's 4th Tribal Council and still no idol plays. But does this mean anything for the game? Is it important to not just assume idols are even in play this season? Can't hear from Julia. If anybody else, well, there she is.
Hi, we see you, Julia, but it
Can
says
you
you're
type
muted.
it?
Yeah, you could always type your answer.
Does someone else want to chime in and talk about idols? Oh, Dinar, are you politely allowing me to talk? Cody, can you ask your question again, and I'll see what comes straight off the dome?
Here we go again.
Great, let's run it back.
How important is it to not just assume that idols are even in play this season?
Oh, I think it's extremely important not to assume as much as you possibly can in this game, and so the issue is that you have to make sure that you're not petrified by the idea that an idol is in play. I think it would be a little naive for us to assume that with a function in the game called Idol Hunt, that there were not any idols in the game. And so I think we're all continuing to bide our time and pick up as much information as we can. But it's also early, and it seems like there's still a long ways to go.
And I'd like to add on to that, if possible.
Okay. Yes.
And it's not like this easy thing to do, like as much as I don't want to believe that there's idols out there and potentially people have idols already, you guys have made it so difficult to even find one that it's starting to become like a serious question in my head if there are actually idols on this so-called idol hunt extravaganza that we all go on every day, or if it's just like this false hope that you guys twisted in to this game because you guys are fan of twists, it seems like, and that would be a huge one.
And to that, I say #SubRosa. It is time to vote. Go ahead and message in your host chats with a voting confession.
Before we vote, I think we should make things a little bit more exciting. And I have an advantage I want to play.
Okay.
That's an extra vote, but there's a catch. I can't play the vote myself. I have to give it to somebody else, and it can be used for a revote. So, before we vote, I just want to give my extra vote to Julia. Here's hoping.
Okay, so Julia, in your host chat, you'll vote twice. You only need one voting confession. Everybody else, time to vote. If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so. No one stands. And with that, first vote, Jamie. Sorry it had to end this way. You are a beast.
Great, one vote, Jamie. B, I love your enthusiasm. You are so amazing. I hope we can talk about teaching after the game. One vote, Jamie. One vote, B.
Next vote, Jamie. One final push for redemption. 2 votes, Jamie. 1 vote, B.
B, it's either you or me, hoping it's you. 2 votes, Jamie. 2 votes, B.
Next vote, Jamie. Here's hoping that this was the actual plan.
Great, so we have 3 votes, Jamie. 2 votes, B. Jamie, I'm sorry it had to be this way. You seem awesome.
Sorry, you cut out. I don't know if they heard it as well.
Oh, Jamie, I'm sorry it had to be this way. You seem awesome.
Well played, everyone.
Next vote, Jamie. This breaks my heart 100%. Hugs, and I'm so glad we were on a tribe together. And with that, Jamie is the actual third person voted out of this game.
Way to go.
Jamie,
That was fucking awesome.
Jamie, thank you so much for playing.
Oh my gosh. Good luck, everybody. Honestly, oh, Dinara, don't look sad. It's okay. You voted me. That's all right.
Jamie, if you leave the call, we have an announcement for Gazania.
Perfect.
We love you,
See you
Jamie.
guys later.
Bye.
Bye, Jamie. Okay, who am I getting swapped with?
Playing.
Gazania, please be available for a live challenge in the next 30 minutes. That's all.
Oh, how long will the live challenge be? Can I ask that?
Sorry. Not all. Elect one person to compete for your tribe.
Can I just ask how long the challenge will be?
Yeah, everyone needs to be on call. One person's going to compete. The challenge will probably be about 20 minutes or so. For this challenge, you will be answering questions about your fellow tribe.
But first,
drop
your
buffs.
We are swapped, and the following people are making up the new tribes. The challenge that we just described is completely fake and not happening. The actual challenge will be posted to Wakelet immediately after this. And
So
new tribes are as
Time
follows.
to get into your new tribes. Remember, as we are calling out your new tribes, you are not allowed to talk to anyone yet, and you are definitely not allowed to talk to your former tribes. So, Cody, you want to take it away with the new Saffron tribe?
Making up the new Saffron. We have an even split. 2 Saffron, 2 Arnaria, 2 Gazania. We have Avery, Josie, B, Jake, John, and Zeke.
All right, the new Arnaria tribe, we have 2, 2, and 2 as well. Maggie, Nicole, Dinara, Trey, Justin, Amy.
In our final tribe, Gazania, Nico, Julia, Mark, Ari, Liv, Sarah. So that's 2 Saffron, 2 Gazania, 3 Arnaria. You'll be split up into your tribes right after this. And like we said, the new challenge, the actual challenge will be posted to Wakelet.
All right, so just a reminder, you are not allowed to talk to anyone on your old tribe. Sorry, guys. Hopefully you'll be reunited. You will be added to your new tribe chats, and the challenge will be starting as soon as possible. So, have a good night, everybody.